Welcome everyone. Tonight we're diving into the mysterious and transformative world of tarot combinations. We are focusing on the Five of Pentacles. Imagine uncovering just a fraction of deep and powerful meanings that this card can hold, not just on its own, because we are pairing it with some of the minor arcanas. Now, what could it reveal about challenges, resilience, or unexpected opportunities? How might these combinations help you understand your journey in a whole new light? Tonight's session is a tiny glimpse, a taste of the magic that awaits you. So if you're curious about the deeper layers of tarot mastery, this could be the perfect first step. My signature courses is where we'll truly unlock the full spectrum of meanings behind every card and the combinations. But for now, let's get started on this exciting journey. The Fool. What planet does it link to? Uranus or Uranus, or however you want to pronounce it. That is the planet for the Fool. By the way, today we have put some PDFs up there that you can actually get for free. And one of them is the chart that I sometimes show you, which is the ruling planets of the astrological star signs. You can go in and have a look at what Uranus pairs up with astrologically, and that will help you because so many of the cards are, of course, attached to planets or astrological signs. And the more you know about that, the easier it's going to be to feel that you're confident in your readings because you know what you're talking about. Okay, so we know that the Fool is Uranus, and we also know that has an astrological sign. But for now, we're interested in what is the key word for that major arcana. So there's many, lots and lots. But what we're going to say is it's about something new. It's about a leap of faith. It's about stepping into the unknown. Now, Five of Pentacles as the pair, telling us loneliness. So when we're new in anything, we can feel quite lonely. If we didn't know anything, I would say that this pair just means that Fool and the Five of Pentacles is a new financial journey that you might feel very uncertain about because you're lacking the skills, but the challenge is part of a growth process. And it's time to learn, time to embrace those lessons. Maybe you will face some scarcity. Maybe you will face some hardship, but take that leap. As a pair, if it was we knew nothing, I would say it's just a new financial journey that you're a bit uncertain of and lacking the skills in. But challenge is to go on and grow. Embrace the lessons of everything that comes, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the not so kind. That would be a very simple way of reading that pair. Many different ways, of course, but just giving you some ideas. Another word for the Five of Pentacles, this is a word that comes up with one of the key words in the meanings of the Five of Pentacles. You might be very new to actual scarcity. Maybe you're like the figures in the card where we tell the story that we think that they've done really well in life and then, unfortunately, they've fallen on some hard times. And now they are facing many different things. Maybe poverty, maybe illness, maybe rejection. Scarcity is one of them. They look as if they might be a little bit as if nowhere to sleep for the night, especially looking up how they're trudging there in a blizzard. Why would you be out on such a night? Possibly homeless, nowhere to go. And scarcity, not having enough to go round, not having a roof over your head. And the Fool is saying they've got no idea. They're really new to this. They've got no experience. So the Fool is a card of having no experience. Let's bring on a different card. We've got the Magician, the planet Mercury, and that's the planet of communication. We might be scarce on communication. Nobody's wanting to talk to us. Have you ever thought about reading the cards like that? If we didn't have a question or anything, I would say quite simply, there might be an opportunity with the Magician and the Five of Pentacles to transform your financial or materials difficulties into success. But it would require focus, resourcefulness, and the belief in your ability to manifest change. The method I use, Coco Brown, I'm going to answer that for you. I always use the major arcana first. Separate your deck into 2 piles. 22 major arcana cards on the left, 56 minor arcana cards on the right. Feed the energy of the minor card. You're using that as a clarifier. It's telling you, the suit's telling you what the element is, the numbers telling you. Well, fives in tarot are never easy, are they? Yes, it makes a difference, because if you use your major arcana card first and then your minor arcana card secondly, you are feeding the energy of the minor arcana into the major arcana. Why? Because whatever that major arcana is telling us, Mercury, communication, what can we manifest? Linked to the astrological sign of Gemini. So anything that links to that, okay? And keywords for the magician, of course, many, okay? But let's just have a look at what we chose. Manifestation. So maybe communication is scarce. Maybe you're not able to manifest things so easily. And if you are looking at the magician on its own, you'll say all positive things, perhaps. People do reverse cards, okay? There is no need for reverse cards when you are using a minor card as a pair, because the minor card is telling you the current background effects involved. At what stage they're at, perhaps by the number, making it very simple, but give you something. The element, so this is about productivity or the lack of. This is about struggles, but it's about what's tangible. When we're in a different suit, such as the suit of swords, we're looking at communication and thoughts. So the magician would be pertaining to anything to do with communication and thoughts, as in because you're in the suit of swords. The magician is that because it is Mercury. Don't forget that. I hear people saying things like, oh, the magician, he's a trickster, he's a this, and it's smokes and mirrors. Many things can be that, but don't let your imagination take over and let your intuitive side just give it that. It might be that occasionally. I know that I'm not saying it's wrong, but what I'm saying is if you actually know what it is, it makes a lot of sense. It's talking about what you're manifesting in the magician, and the Five of Pentacles here is talking about anything to do with communication or manifestation. It's scarce. It's not really happening. You said, thank you very much. It makes sense. Yeah. It's probably a little bit hard to do it the other way around, Coco Brown. Okay. Great to have you along and lovely questions. Keep them coming. Really delighted about that. Thank you very much indeed. Let's take another look at another meaning of the Five of Pentacles. Spiritual hunger. What does that mean? Maybe we've got too caught up in manifesting things. Manifesting what? Anything and everything. Productivity, products. What do we need? We need money. We need a roof over our head. We need food. We need to work. We need to make things happen. And producing that or not producing that, which is maybe what the Five of Pentacles is saying, is you've either run out of products or you've been so concerned with the products and manifesting them that now you are feeling spiritual hunger. You've lost your way spiritually, perhaps, because you've been too busy coping, getting by, trying to make things happen. Yeah? It's also, we can't deny it's a card of hardship. It really is. I'm going to move that a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Card of hardship. And you've just got to bear in mind that it does mean that. It's not glitzy, is it, looking at this? Not at all. It's one of those cards where you'd actually say, I'm really feeling it, okay? And whatever I'm manifesting, it's this. What? Poverty. Another word in hardship is, it could come from this. Unemployment. Okay, let me just make that a wee bit smaller. Okay, So yeah, it can mean unemployment. That's not the first thing that would spring to mind. But looking at that, does it look as if they hold down a job? No. Does it look as if they're actually going into the place where we can see the stained glass window that maybe holds light, warmth, food, contact with people? Place where there's no nice word for it, charity. Yeah? Does it look that they've noticed that? Maybe they are just too wrapped up in what they're doing. That's what we talked about in the tutorial last Thursday. So if you missed that, go on YouTube, it's on there. This is a bit of a library here, if you're new here, of each card. And on Thursdays, I give you as much as I have collated that I think will help you with all the information about that card and what you might need to know and what you might need to actually think about. And then what we do is we try and work with the card. And of course, the card last Thursday was the Five of Pentacles. This Thursday will be the Six of Pentacles. And we can then talk to each other and find out the things that, as a reader, you can say. And I say this all the time. Really think about what kind of reader you want to be. If you want to sit there and pull one card or two cards or three cards, there is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not. But if you want to go beyond that, and if you want to go beyond that and wonder why, and I am going to say this as plainly as I possibly can, there are people that make a full-time living at tarot, astrology, those kind of professions. It's because they've trained in it. And they are charging $300 US or Australian dollars or £90 to £200 for a reading. I'm not talking about what time it is because I don't know whether they're giving 60 minutes or an hour and a half or what they're giving. But what I'm saying is, how can they do that and how can they make a full-time living? It's because they've probably studied. Where have they studied? Who knows? It's not really out there, is it? And there is so much that we pick up keywords here and there. That's like having an idea of what a recipe looks like. And you just see the cake and you know that it's got flowers and eggs in it, but you don't know what else is in that actual recipe to make that beautiful cake. How are you going to know how to do it? You won't know what temperature to cook at. You won't know the ingredients. You're not going to be able to replicate it. You might think you can. If you've got a little bit of knowledge in cooking, you might be able to wing it, of course. But most of the time, we learn something. And we don't just learn something that we buy and the little white book and go off and expect to make a full-time living by just doing that. Or saying, oh, they told me to use my intuition. There's nothing wrong with your intuition, but that on its own can actually be, forget about the person you're reading for you. It can finish you because it's scary, it's a responsibility. You start to feel that you're guessing, it doesn't connect, the pieces of the puzzle aren't there, nobody showed you how to actually put the puzzle together, you don't know. If somebody said, let's do a jigsaw puzzle together, they would probably sit down and show you, why don't you look at all the edges? Why don't you look at all the colours? Why don't you have some sort of system? They teach you. With tarot, it's very difficult. You might have done workshops. I've done hundreds. And it was literally hundreds. And to be honest, sometimes I think, I can't believe I sat through that. There was always something that was valuable, so it was never a waste of my time. Even if it teaches you that's too basic, there are people that want that, but they are not going to make it in a full-time career and be able to say that they can offer you an appointment in a couple of weeks' time because they're fully booked and they are charging X $100, pounds, whatever it is. And if that's what you want to do, you can't give up your day job and just pull in one card for £1. You won't make it, you won't be able to, you'd be like the Five of Pentacles. So this is where this is different. It's about teaching you how you can make a career. And I know what I'm talking about because I ran a platform for a very long time, decades, couple of decades actually, before I actually said, you know what, I know really that everyone's asking me to do these courses so that they can become self-employed, part-time, or retirement, whatever you want to do. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to do it for yourself, it's also a great system. You don't have to. It just depends on you. And it depends what you want to do with that. But if you want to go and do those things and have those people, they've probably studied on their own, or they've probably gone off and done something like a thesis in the actual subject. And it's incredibly hard to get. It's not easily available. Read a book and you think, that's it, that all made sense. And you try and do it and I'm struggling. Okay? So that is really why we're here. And that's why the courses are there, because you asked for them. And they're there for people. We've all got busy lives. Therefore, it's important that I've made it available, that you can go and look at it whenever you've got time. Your choice, pick and mix. I really wanted to do it like that. I didn't want to say, no, you're not allowed to do this and you must do it in this order. Do it in any order that you like. But I will tell you that if you try and do the advanced before you actually have done the intermediate, you're going to find that parts 1 to 10 are missing and you're coming in at 11 to 22. And I'm just saying it like that to you. That's that. And there are people that want to actually do the intermediate and say, I'll start from the beginning. It's not starting from the beginning. You really need to know your cards. And these tutorials are just a snippet, okay? But good snippets, very good snippets, yeah? Things that are important that make you go, do you know what? I think I understand now. They pulled those 2 cards and told me, you know, you are manifesting so much, but in actual fact, although you're unemployed, you're not going to be like that for long. So let's say we're unemployed, that you were actually in that extreme situation. Everyone's fallen on hard times at some point. We've all been made redundant, or it happened to me once. And it was thankfully while I was at college, and it was a Saturday job. And they just went, no, we don't want you. We want her because she is going to do this full time once you're gone. And you're not. You're going to college. We're going to train her and we're going to start on a Saturday position and give her a trial on Saturday. Someone else stepped into my shoes because I didn't want to advance with where I was, and they had somebody waiting to actually say, I want to do this full time. Fair enough, I was made redundant on that one, simply because I had no interest in continuing working in a shoe shop, as in at that time, because I wanted to study something else. Okay, and they knew that. Yeah. And that can feel a bit like this. Oh gosh, I wanted my money to get me through college and I've been rejected. But look at what I'm saying. The deal was, are you going to stay? And my deal was, no chance. I'm not staying here. I do this for a short period of time. I am more than happy to be here for a short period of time, but it's not long term. Simple as that. Let's look at this. High Priestess. So what does she tell us? Let's start with the planet. Anybody know the planet for the High Priestess? It's the moon, okay? And so the moon is associated with the High Priestess. As I said, if you like these ruling planets that go with the cards, now you're not going to get it with the cards, you're going to get the ruling planets with the astrological sign. Okay, she's got it. I know she's not, it's just that there's a delay. We are live, of course. It's come up and I'm trying to put it on the screen. If we look at our High Priestess, and a key word for her, there's many, of course, as I say, but for the sake of this tutorial, I have made it that it's card of the future. And what does that mean? It means it's things that we will learn about. It's things that will be revealed to us. And the Five of Pentacles there, one of the key words on the screen is rejection. So we might be, and usually we may have a hunch, we may have a gut feeling, we may have a psychic moment or an intuitive moment, call it what you will, okay? But we might think, gosh, I'm feeling that I'm being rejected here, or I'm about to be. Forewarned, forearmed, if we are feeling that, okay? Yes, the Five of Pentacles is not one of those cards that you'd go, goody. It's good and bad to everything, but on the whole, it is difficult. It can also be about this, social welfare. Can be, that we have to go to the authorities and see what social assistance we can get. There's all sorts of different words for it. I've used social welfare, so that you know that it's about the welfare of yourself and getting some help from the state or from the government or from the council or wherever, that we are able. Future, it's not yet been revealed to you, but you might be feeling, gosh, something's telling me this could be on the cards for me, as it were. Okay? That's one of the meanings. What I would say if I saw this pair, I would say, trust your intuition during some tough financial times. Pay attention to it. What might seem like a loss might actually hold some hidden lessons or lead to an unexpected spiritual or emotional insight. So, an example, I was telling you way back before while I was wanting to study at college, and I had this Saturday job from school and off to college afterwards. I had a Saturday job in a shoe shop, and yes, I was rejected because someone was saying, I want to come in full-time. There's no full-time positions at the moment, but you can have Anne-Marie's job on Saturday. Start with that. As soon as it's there, you'll be first in. So I was out, and that's fine. What happened then was I managed to get with the supermarket, and the supermarket gave me Thursday night, Friday night, and all day Saturday. Although I was rejected, I got something far better, didn't I? Far better. Was absolutely delighted. Why? Because it was 6 till 9 in the evening, Thursday night, Friday night, all day Saturday, making 3 times the amount that they were giving me at the shoe shop. Can be, yeah. When we're rejected and what is it? It made me go out there and go, you know what, I need a job. I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. I've got to sort myself out. And it was totally convenient. And I stayed in the state until I actually qualified and went off and got my new job immediately. So there you go. And yeah, it was a great experience. So there are things from the Five of Pentacles where we can actually go, what can I find out about what's going on? And I couldn't have got social welfare because it wasn't entitled to anything. But there are things sometimes that we can feel alienated. And I have to say, pretty young thing that took my Saturday job, I felt that everybody had alienated me and that there was something wrong with me while I was there. But something told me, even if I felt that, that was a feeling I was in the wrong place. Yeah. I would actually say that I wouldn't call it that. I can understand that, and I think there's nothing wrong with that saying. But I think that what this card actually tells us, we can feel very lonely. But I also would say to you, it's always a card of finding out who your true friends are. So I'm not sure how I'd answer you there, Coco Brown, as in with that. Yeah, you could stick together, providing you actually feel that you really know their friends. Because if you are like the 2 figures in this card, you probably feel alienated from friends. You're no longer, the story with this card is it's a bit like once upon a time, they were the haves They had friends, they had social standing, they probably had nice clothes and plenty to eat. Fallen on hard times. The friends have gone out the window, or the so-called friends. Sticking together, it looks like these two are not doing that. And it also looks like they are not looking at help that's been offered there. So I'm not sure how I would actually, I don't think there's anything wrong, but for me, it's about trying to actually make sure that you don't miss something. And new friends will come in, because genuine people, or the old people in your life that see you fall on hardships, will be there. And I will tell you that in life, I'm no spring chicken, and I've seen a lot of things happen. And I feel that this is very true. When people actually are no longer in the mix or the vibe or the jet set, whatever you want to call it, the clique, the neighborhood, I think people can forget about each other. Trying to stick with people that perhaps haven't got your back when you most needed them. True friends will come in. If you're falling on hard times, the person that says, I remember a friend of mine a long time ago, she just said, if ever you need anything, just call. I won't even need to know why you need it. I'll be there. And that includes if you need to stay for whatever period of time. And she meant it. Oh, you're new to tarot? Then we are so delighted to have you along. Coco Brown, very different to a lot of people. And the reason is, it's because I say it as it is. Why? Because if you're going to be a reader and you want to grow, you want to know yes or no. Okay? So Five of Pentacles, people say it's a negative card. We can all make a generalized statement like that. I wouldn't say it's a happy card. I would say it's rough. All fives in tarots are difficulties, adversities. But they are there for you to either mope, cry over spilt milk, or do something. And I think if you stick with the old crowd that maybe didn't really want you or haven't really helped you, no. I think you should look at, if you've been alienated or you're not welcome anymore, sort of thing, and you felt that, and it's not your ego or your pride or anything, but genuinely, where were they when you needed them, when you needed some medicine? Look at our characters. They're not well when they needed shelter, when they needed something on their feet. If your friends have not helped you, then perhaps they're not friends. So I wouldn't stick with people like that. I would look for the fact that you will find out who's genuinely there. Yeah? Great question. With the Devil and the Five of Pentacles showed dependency and staying together. Let's take a look at it. There we are. We've got the Devil card. So the question is, would the Devil card with the Five of Pentacles show dependency and staying together? Yes, it could do. But again, I would say yes because of the Devil. And I would also say there is a temptation to stay with the devil, you know. But I don't think they're great to each other. Are not helping each other in that picture, are they? A bit like you're on your own sort of thing. So let's say the Devil and the Five of Pentacles. How I would look at it is it's material or financial struggles that's keeping you rooted in unhealthy attachments of fear. So let go of the limiting beliefs and release yourself from the chains of scarcity in your thinking and in your actions. But yeah, I think it would actually say there is a dependency to stay together, but perhaps for all the wrong reasons. Yes. I think that's a great way of putting it, actually. Passionate Sagittarius, really do. It can mean so many things. These are just examples. And do I always say the same thing for every pair? Of course not. Of course not. Depends who I'm reading for, because I'm using my intuition, but I'm also using clearly what the code is and what I'm interpreting from the cards. Let's bring up the astrological sign, of course, which is Capricorn. Okay, so if you know any Capricorns, That will help you. Or if you are a Capricorn, look at the actual devil card and think about some key sort of aspects of your personality, the good, the bad, the not so good. The same for any card that's got an astrological sign. Please do. And yeah, the devil card. If we are in a place of emotional bondage towards something, or physical bondage, material bondage as it is, how many people do we know that would actually stick together because they're scared of being out in the cold? In what way? Financially? Maybe roof over their head, maybe got no job, no way of actually looking after themselves, friendships out the window, the group of friends. They're going to go with the partner that you're leaving, perhaps. Are they going to support you? Are they going to want to see you? If they are going to support you, are they still going to want to see you if you're no longer together? There's all these kind of things going on, isn't there? We can feel loneliness. And the devil card, as in, what keyword have we got up for the devil card? We've got several. So just to confuse you, passionate side, it is about being materialistic in this case. That's all you're focused on. Oh, well, I'll have nowhere to live. Oh, I'll have to give up the car. Oh, I'll have to give up all the good things. Yes, but I wouldn't make that as a prediction or a statement. I would actually say, you're absolutely right. Unhealthy dependency, isn't it? So yeah, it is. These two, just look at them. They're too wrapped up in themselves. And it smacks of self-pity, sadly. And we can all do that. We are human. We feel everything. And always welcome it when you're feeling something negative. Thank it and hope it goes away pretty damn quick. But what is that? It's allowing you to experience that so you have empathy for people that cannot suddenly just move on, perhaps as quick as you. And I'm not saying you're a genius, but it's an acquired skill to actually go, I don't want to wallow, I don't want to be like this, I don't want to be enslaved. It's to get to a point where you are not enslaved is where you take accountability. Accountability is, if I have nowhere to sleep, I am better off on my own than being in this, as you called it. No, I think the description between us is perfect. Perfect. But it wouldn't be something I would use verbatim to a client. I would actually say you're probably really used to the devil and it's a bit scary and you're going to be lonely when you walk away from all of this. Yeah? So Coco Brown, you're absolutely right. It's just that while we're discussing things and how we would actually say things to a client might be very different. And it's not about wrapping it up. It's actually about respect. And it's about not telling them what to do. Because tarot is divination, astrology is. And some people think it's hocus pocus. It works. Why does it work? It's been around a very long time. Despite what people can say, oh, I don't believe in that old thing, do you? Things that happen in life. Everything has a beginning, like the Fool. Everything has a completion, like the world. Everything has, we start something off and then we partner up. Suddenly we have a buddy and we feel we've been supported and we've either got a friendship or a partnership or a relationship or a business buddy or a study buddy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah? So that's like the twos in tarot. Then we become creative. Then we start to create and make sure that we cooperate with other people. And then we become grounded and we get stability and we start feeling that we've got some sort of security, like putting the foundations of a house or putting up for posts for a tent. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. And then, of course, the more sort of dynamics, the more things become, the different aspects of people start to have an effect upon what we're doing. And if we want to blame them, we are handing over our power to those people. And you know what, you could say this to a client, but I won't thank you for it. Why? They may not be ready. That's for them to decide that. You can describe something like, you're feeling, let's just talk about the devil and say, you know what, there is this whole, let me just get some more keywords for that, materialism. There is this whole attachment. You fear being lonely, okay? Or you're feeling very restricted. And you know what? You can be lonely in the relationship you're actually in. I'm lonely anyway, but at least I'm scared to be on my own. People say that an awful lot. They're not ready. And it's not our place to tell them. What we can do is actually say, I totally understand the cards are perhaps describing your feelings at the moment. And when you're ready, you'll perhaps know when the right time is and what's the right way for you. But based on the current effects, this is how it's looking. Yeah? Yeah, there can be restrictions due to, as we said, attachments. And of course, that can bring in the fact that we're worried about hardship. And we feel that we are going to be alienated from everyone and everything that we know because we've broken up with that person. Very difficult to actually stay friends with the same group of people and still have your partner or your husband, whatever it is, or your wife. It becomes difficult. Yeah, struggles. Yeah. Feelings, okay, really and truly, it's about the fact that it isn't, if you're pulling out pentacles in the actual place of feelings, I think what you could say here is you feel alienated. Yes, you could use that as in as feelings of alienation is rather than what it actually is. If it comes up in a position of emotions. But if I've got any card that's sitting in an emotional position, I will say they think if it's a sword, they feel if it's a cup, they will do if it's, or they are doing if it's a wand, or they have done this to you, or this is happening right now if it's a pentacle. Yeah? So if you're looking for somebody who wants to know how they feel, I think it's important, if you got this as a power and said, how do they feel? I would actually turn around and say to you that, you know what, I feel that this is a very physical relationship. It is physical. The devil is physical. You've got pentacles there. Yeah? And you two look like you might be pulling apart. And you've probably felt that. Maybe when you're ready, you need to be ready for just enjoy it while it lasts sort of thing. Oh, what do they feel about me? They're too wrapped up in themselves, actually. I'd answer it like that. They are. Look at that. Neither of them are paying attention to the other. They're not helping each other. That tells you something. So if you're asking about how do people feel, self-absorbed, pretty much. Why am I with you? Better the devil, I know. Don't really want to be on my own. Don't really want to support you and don't want your support. It's not great, but it's there. I would look at it like there's some great questions around tonight, folks. We really like that. Okay. So special request before we finish. Judgment card, she said. Can we have the judgment card? Yep. Okay. Judgment card. Let's keep alienated on the screen and let's look at judgment card with the planet Pluto. Okay. And I have put, what have I put up there today? Oh, I put a little quiz up there for you today. Go and have a look. It's free. Download it and go and have a look at your ruling planets. The more you know in astrology, your planets, your signs, don't feel that you have to know it all. Just learn a little, but it will make sense. Pluto, link, this is the ruling planet that I've got. You can get download your own copy. Yeah. So let's look at Pluto on here. What's it associated with? Can you see? If you look at 1 o'clock on the clock face, Scorpio. All right. So we go back to judgment. So you can get that. I've done that as in for you to download and a little quiz. Got Onda to thank for designing that for me. It's a start. Let's look at the fact that Coco Brown in astrology, seriously, you're going to love this method because I really use a lot of astrology, as you're probably seeing. Pluto is coming up there and attached to Scorpio. You're going to love it. And let's just tell you about the courses. The Judgment card, and we know that it relates to Pluto. And we've got a card of Five of Pentacles. So we also know that Pluto is associated, as I showed you on the wheel, with Scorpio. Okay? It's going to help you. Think of Scorpio. Think of Pluto. The more you know about Pluto, the more you know about Scorpio, the more you know about the Judgment card and the aspects of it. And then learning that card is fairly simple once you know the background effects and the meanings of it. And I don't mean it just means X, Y, and Z. Okay. Keyword that we used for that particular card was reevaluating, as you saw on the screen. And if we look at reevaluating your loneliness, you're at a place and you go, this would remind me, if I got this power, I would actually say, think of it as in you've got everything. Been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirts, absolutely fabulous. Been in a band, you've made it good. You traveled the world and you suddenly go, oh, I'm so lonely. I'm sick of being in hotel rooms. I never get to meet anyone. I've always got a bodyguard with me. I'm always told where to sit and stand, what to wear. I've always got 6 people tending to me, doing my hair, doing this. I've got no life of my own. I'm surrounded by people, but I am so lonely. Okay. Judgment and Five of Pentacles. My assessment very quickly of this card is it's time for reflection and self-assessment. Look at your financial choices and circumstances. Take responsibility and accountability for your actions to rise to your new opportunity for abundance. Now, what that can mean is you are leaving behind poverty, or you are leaving behind something that is the opposite of that. But it's worth it, because the loneliness you're experiencing right now is making you happy. You do the traditional rulers. Do you know we had that on the screen a couple of weeks ago and it confused so many people I changed it. Okay, got it. Coco Brown, would you mind sharing one of the traditional rulers for our beautiful judgment card? Yeah, if you'd share that with us. We put that on the screen, didn't we? I also gave Passionate Sachi a PDF copy of that. And I think, it's hard because there is both, astrologers would know that. And I am training in astrology and understood that people that aren't would probably find that a little bit tricky. Okay, so reevaluating your loneliness. You can be lonely with people. You can be lonely without. You could be looking at how you feel lonely now and how you prefer to continue being lonely on your own rather than surrounded by a lot of people where you feel awful. Yeah, can be. Also, it's like reevaluating scarcity. Gosh, it's going to be scarce with money. Not going to be this, not going to be that. Looking at the fact that you're prepared to go through hardship. Why? Because you are aware that there is something missing in your life and you are spiritually hungry. You are hungry for that very thing that causes you to feel that it's worth it. Perhaps it's because you're already aware that you're feeling isolated or alienated in the current situation, which is requiring you to move on. So that could be absolutely, yep. In astrology, she would use Mars as the ruler of Scorpio. So there you go. You can, because this is yours, all right? This is exactly what I'm saying. You can integrate your own bits because you know that the Judgment card is linked as into Pluto. What would you use for Pluto? And what would you use for Scorpio? See how nuanced this can become, Coco Brown. There's no rights and wrongs apart from the fact that you know that the Judgment card is linked to planet Pluto. Simple as. And what you know from Pluto, you then go in and go, it's this. Modify it adapt it, make it yours. Okay, you are not wrong. There is, as we talked about, traditional rulers, as in with astrology. People learning tarot, that could be way too much. It probably is a little bit too much for them to look at this. Oh, I don't want to know that. It's so useful. And we have natal charts on the website. Why? Because I want people to be able to look at themselves, look at where their Mars is, where their Venus is, where their ascendant is, and look at the colourful array of who they are and put it all together and go, my moon is Cancer, my sun is Capricorn, my ascendant is Virgo. What a mixture. Why is that mixture? Why does it come out that the Capricorn comes out all blunt, but the sensitive moon of Cancer is all hurt and hard done by when they feel that other people haven't understood just the plain vanilla of their actions? And Virgo, how you are studious and dutiful and precise and competent in everything that you do within your daily life, how you act in that way. Then look at all those other things that go on. Your Mercury, your Venus, your Mars, it's all on there for free. Why have I put it on there? So you can go and look it up. And when you find out about you, you'll know a little bit more about more than just your sun sign. And ask people, what's your star sign? And I go, okay, so you're a Gemini, are you? You're not, and think of what Gemini you, what you're observing, aspects. And one day when you're reading tarot, that person will pop into your head, and there's a reason for that, because it's giving you an aspect intuitively, but because you've done it technically, if you like, and educated yourself, the whole thing just becomes this amazing, beautiful, unique you. Nobody wants to read like me or whatever. You might want to use a system like I do, and somebody that is used to supporting readers, which is what I've done for years, and supporting clients, both sides of that, running platforms, being the boss, who we're going to interview, who we're going to take on, who are we going to not take on. I'll tell you who we wouldn't take on: people that just wanted to chat. Hello, love, you all right? Yeah, I did that. I was watching telly the other day. And I think they're doing really well because they're friendly. Didn't come there for that, so those wouldn't get hired. But people that were struggling a little bit with using too few cards, we'd actually turn around and go, you know what, if you want to turn around and come back and give this another try, you'd be fine. But unfortunately, you can't go into the depth of what people are asking, and that's going to be awful for you and awful for them. So I think come back. We're happy to interview you again whenever you want another chance or another go. And talk to you soon. And the other people who wouldn't get through is those that go, oh yeah, you're going to live a long and healthy life. I see you've got loads of money and you're just fine. And yeah, you're going to live till no health matters. Don't do health. And don't tell people how long they live. We're not there. We're not fortune tellers. This background current effects that's going on. And if they are to continue on the path that they're on, what's the likelihood of where they're going to end up? That's what it's all about. Lovelies, let's have a look at this. What a great question. Coco Brown, this is great. Passionate Satu asks loads of questions and she's not feeling very well tonight. I'm really grateful. Because judgment is Pluto, I would be stuck as to which sign to give it, as I don't use co-rulers. Could I just use Pluto by itself? Yes, of course you can. This is what I'm saying. Knowing, and you know what Pluto is all about. No, thanks for your company. I'm going to play you out right now and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.